But whilst you're here, George, we must just reminisce a little bit with you. It's not that long ago, is it? Do you remember how it all began for you as a player for Aston Villa?
Yeah, I do. Fresh memories. Actually, my first experience is a weird one, because when I arrived at Villa Park for the very first time, obviously playing for Coventry in those days, I said to myself that one day this is the club I want to play for. And it went quicker than I thought. I did not expect that 15 months after I said that to myself that I'll be actually walking out for Villa. But I have great memories, and I try to explain to people that Aston Villa is a massive club, it's a big club, but people don't realise how big it is until they get to the ground. And when you get to the ground and you see the fans, and the setup of the stadium is beautiful, the organisation is very professional, and now we've got also a very good first team players with a fantastic manager in place. So I feel we are going places. On my personal view, or personal part of playing here, there's only good memories. The FA Cup obviously stands out, the one that we should have won in 2000 against Chelsea. We've played some good games over the course of the time I was here. And even my last game that I played for Villa, we beat Chelsea away 3-1. Not many people still remember that. I do.
What happened in that game? Just refresh everyone's
obviously Chelsea was one of the top teams. I think they were second in the league, and it was the last game of the season. And nobody really expected us to go there and perform as how we did, because there was not much to play for. But the group that we had, with Darius Vassell, Dion Dublin, Gareth Barry, myself, Ian Taylor, we had a really good group of players who were self-driven. So when we got to Stamford Bridge, we put down a very good performance and walked away with 3-1. It set up my holiday really nice.
Oh, perfect, brilliant. Yeah, why not? I think that might have been when you got into the Intertoto, but yeah, it was a good experience. Now, isn't it funny how things work out though? Because you mentioned Coventry, and you scored, didn't you, in a win for the Sky Blues against Villa, which they absolutely loved. The Villains didn't enjoy it, but then you end up becoming an AVFC player.
Well, I'm a type of person, I have to be professional at all times, so I performed well that day, but not knowing that would be my luck to then have the opportunity to come and play for Aston Villa. It was always a wish for me as soon as I stepped first steps at Villa Park. There were a few clubs interested, but I spoke to John Gregory at the time, and all the things he said was just perfect. We had a good players with Gareth Southgate at the time as captain, and Yuge Ekiok, bless him, who we lost only a couple of years ago. But yeah, we had really good players, and I felt like this was the right move for me. It's a club where even when I left, I've always been in touch with the people running the club, or Ian Taylor has been an ambassador for the club for some time, so I've always stayed in touch with Ian Taylor. And as you said earlier, even players like Gareth Barry as well as Lee Hendry, I've been in touch with over the years. So I've been away, but in a way, I've always stayed quite connected with Villa.
Yeah, the gaffer, John Gregory, used to call you and Tails, George and Mildred, didn't he, in central midfield? That's the good times with him.
Yeah, well, he had two players who were very similar, but different in their way of approaching. I thought Ian Taylor was one of the best players in getting into the box really late, and with me breaking up play and trying to get the ball to Paul Merson as quickly as I can. It worked well. We had a really good balance, and one of the few teams that played 3-5-2, even in the Prem, whether it was home or away. Probably one of the best games I remember was Tottenham Hotspur away, where we were half-time, we were 2-0 down, and we came into the dressing room and everyone was kind of scared because we thought that John Gregory was going to go absolutely mad. He came in and he was very calm and he said, "Guys, you've played good football, you've just forgot to score. So second half, do exactly the same, but this time just score." And we scored one, we scored two, It became 2-2, 3-2 and 4-2 for us. And
there were some fantastic goals as well, weren't there?
Fantastic goals. Dion Dublin with the overhead kick and Alan Wright with the volley, I think, from 25 yards.
You only did special goals, Wrighty.
Only did special goals. I think two of the goals were nominated for Goal of the Month. They were that exquisite. But yeah, we walked off and came into the dressing room and John said, I told you guys. I told you at half-time. So we were like, yeah, well... Took hard work.
I was speaking to Lee Hendry actually the other day about what you had together as a group, and some fantastic players and great characters as well.
Yeah, I even until today I did not realise the characters that John Gregory had to deal with, because I wasn't easy. I was a serial winner. I just wanted to win every day at all courts, and so was Ian Taylor. And so was David Ginola when he came. Pablo Angel was the same. Darius Fossell. We had some characters in the team, but in a way we were really self-driven and everyone was very professional. As an example, if we had to be in at 10 o'clock, usually by 9:15, everyone was already in the building, preparing for the training and doing their own bits. That shows how professional and how driven we were all at the time. But Villa has always had players who are good enough to be in the top 4 in the Champions League places. That's why we are Villa. And hopefully once we establish ourselves in the Premier League this season, we can then go back to where we were previously.
Yeah, you qualified for Europe and you weighed in with the odd goal as well, didn't you?
Yeah, we won the Intertoto, got into Europe. It was difficult first season because in Europe the games changed, different pace, and remember going away to Celta de Vigo, which was quite hard, tough games. Yeah, I did not score many goals for Villa because we had good offensive players in Paul Merson, later on David Ginola, Angel, as I mentioned. These boys were amazing going forward, and I enjoyed actually what I did for the team. I knew my role. And I knew what was expected of me, and I was really happy with what I was doing. Europe was, I would have liked us to maybe achieve more in Europe, similar to what I did at Middlesbrough when I left. That was possible here, I felt, but for some reason things then did not quite work out as we went on a couple was further.
Yeah, you had the FA Cup run, that victory over Leeds.
Yeah,
that's just special for any Aston Villa supporter.
Yeah, it was a fantastic game because Leeds was one of the informed teams and playing very good football with Eric Bakker, Viduka up front, Smith, Harry Kewell, and nobody really expected us to beat Leeds at home. But we had good players, and at the time Benny Carboni was on loan. And Benny scored a terrific long range. I think it was Nigel Martin maybe in goal. He wasn't quite sure whether Benny was going to cross or have a shot, and he just tried his luck. And the stadium was just electric. It was fantastic feeling to then be at Villa Park.
And the Bolton semi-final shootout wasn't bad. Dion was never going to miss that pen, was he?
No, it was great for Dion, having been through a very difficult period with his injury with his neck. Almost nearly was could not play football ever again. So when we got to the semi-final in the penalty shootout, we all knew that we wanted Dion to take the fifth one. But we should have beaten Bolton comfortably 3-4-0. There shouldn't have been even a penalty shootout, but Villa always make things difficult.
It's interesting how everyone's moved on, isn't it? And of course, Gareth Southgate. Look at him now. He's not a bad man to aspire to. Yeah,
well, Gareth has always been a very a good person in the sense that he knows how to handle players. Even when he was a captain, he was my captain here at Villa, and then at Middlesbrough I became his captain when he was my manager. And one of the qualities that I've always appreciated from Gareth is that he always has time for the least, or I would say the person that people don't see most important. Gareth has time for that person, and he always listens and asks, what can I do for you? And currently, with that England group that he's got, that's what they needed. They need someone who is more with them and understand what they're going through, having played for England for so many years himself. Even the penalty shootout in the last round, was it World Cup, was it? Yeah. And I thought this is easy because Gareth has been through that. And Gareth has missed a penalty before, so he knows what he can give to the players. So I think currently he's the perfect fit for the England national team. And hopefully he can back it up with trophies.
You played a good game, now you coach one, and of course you do talk a good game, as people can gather now. You've been doing quite a lot of punditry, haven't you? Have you enjoyed that side of it as well? Yeah,
the only reason why I was doing the punditry is because I was going through my coaching badges as well as learning my trade. I was doing media, but then spending a lot of times with various clubs in terms of learning what they do with their philosophy, how the training sessions were taking place. So I spent like a week at Ajax in Amsterdam, went to Feyenoord, my old team, and then I went to Derby County a couple of times. So just to see how the kitchen is, I would say. And in the meantime, I was doing media. I enjoyed the media side, but I've always wanted to coach, always wanted to manage. So I'm glad when the opportunity came to join Blackburn, and now this is even better.
By the way, did we ever get a final version of how to pronounce your surname? Because there were so many versions when you were a player.
Well, because of my Dutch background, yeah. So in Holland we say Boateng, yeah. But in English we say Boateng.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so whatever you say is fine.
Because I think Barry Davies, the commentator, asked you once and you said you weren't a boat. Yeah. So you were Boateng.
Yeah, okay, it's true.
Possibilities.
Yeah, also because the name is from the Ashanti region of Ghana, so in Ghana we pronounce it as Boateng.
Oh, okay. So
yeah. See, there's another version of it. But I like the English version, which is Boateng, which is fine.
Okay, we'll go with that. Great
okay.
Thank you, George Boateng.